Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. What is happening? Welcome to Series 6 of Working Hours, an oral history podcast about a place called Leeds, a time called now, and an activity called work. Working Hours aims to record 1,000 loiners, that's people from Leeds, over the course of this, the most important decade in the history of the human species, and ask them about what they do all day and hear how they feel about it. My name is Simon, and this is all my fault. My mission here is to try to map out what my city, Leeds, a city that has declared a climate emergency, did during humanity's biggest emergency. On Working Hours, we hear how loiners have, are, and will be coping with our multiple and expanding crises during their day-to-day working hours. Can we turn things around? We'll find out. To tell this story, I need loiners like you, dear listener. I need people in Leeds or people from Leeds to come on this podcast and tell me about what they do and let me record how this decade affects us. These are long-form interviews meant to challenge the short attention span content economy. That means they aren't always easy listening, but in my view, they are all worth listening to. They all tell us something about our guest, our city, and our time, not to mention something of what it's like to do that job and how someone got into that job. You're helping this project right now by being a listener, and I'd love for you to consider becoming a guest or a supporter of this project. Thank you for listening to this episode. What did you want to be when you grew up?
I didn't know, is honest. I didn't really know. I'm one of those people that's kind of quite good at a lot of things and was never really like excellent at one thing and wanted to do that. I kind of just liked loads of different things, and I've always liked to be creative. But because I was really academic and I did well at school, everybody wanted me to go to university and go down that route, which I did. But actually what I really wanted to do was something more like a makeup artist or something like creative. But that's, I suppose I'm there now, but I didn't, at that time, it seemed like that wasn't really a job that I could do, or that would, there wasn't YouTube and things like that in those days. So you didn't see makeup artists all the time like you do now online. So it was like, no, you can't do that. You're academic, you've got to go to university, you've got to do your exams and do all those things. So that was what I did. But I never really knew. In fact, I don't think I really knew until like 3 or 4 years ago what I really wanted to do when I grew up. Not that I'm planning on growing up anytime soon. Stay young forever.
A lot of people say that. It's like, I'm not sure I have grown up. So
And I think we didn't see things in the sort of 90s when I was a child. We didn't see things like, you saw like teachers, lawyers, accountants, nurses, doctors. My mum and dad both worked in the public sector. I didn't really see much wider than that. I had one uncle that was an entrepreneur, but other than that, I didn't see any, and I didn't know a single woman that had their own business. So it wasn't something that I would have even considered could have been for me at that time, really.
yeah, there's no model for it.
No.
Yeah. And it's because what you see is so important to what you can imagine in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you stay in education? Did you go straight into work? I mean, I'm imagining, were you kind of pushed into, I guess you sort of, the option looked like hair and makeup, beauty school kind of thing, but then the push was more to, don't do that, there's not enough money in it, do more marketing or something.
So I wanted to go more into a creative, and like I loved like hair and makeup, things like that. I didn't do that. I did a pure maths degree.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Well,
So
like,
you can't get any more hardcore STEM,
of the
like
spectrum.
realistic.
Because I'd always liked maths.
Yeah.
I've always found it really interesting. I know people think that's really weird when I say that, but I
No.
do love maths. I love solving problems.
Yeah.
I love doing puzzles. I love to be in my little zone. I love doing algebra and things like that. I'm a right little geek like that. Like I love watching Countdown and doing the numbers rounds. I've always loved that. And so that was the subject that I found most challenging and most interesting at school. So that kind of led me in that direction. And then I actually did start to train to be an actuary. And I had a company I was working for, and I did actuarial. And when I first came out of uni, I did actuarial stuff, and I was going to start doing my exams and things. And I just was like, I don't think this is right for me. Like, I could do it, and the work was interesting, but there was so little communication with people. It was literally sitting doing calculations all day,
Yeah.
and I needed to do more. And I actually started then trying to train other people, and it just naturally training the new people as they came in and stuff like that. And I was like, actually, this seems like a bit more interesting, like communicating and working with people and being part of a team. And so I sort of went, that's not for me. I quit and I decided to go traveling for a bit.
You're listening to Series 6, Episode 15, and to my guest, Emma Longbottom. This is another Squadcast recording, recorded on the 18th of February 2025. Hello, colleagues. Emma Longbottom is a wellbeing coach, energy healer, and yoga teacher based in Leeds, UK. She is the founder of Wellbeing with Emma. Emma is passionate about empowering people to reclaim their energy and find their joy. She works with people who want to find a path to well-being, but are overwhelmed, feel like they're missing out on a better life, and are struggling to find moments of joy and gratitude in their life. Emma does this by offering a range of holistic well-being practices, both online and face-to-face. She combines coaching with energy work, movement, and meditation. Prior to founding Wellbeing with Emma, Emma worked for over 20 years in a corporate environment, developing and implementing many very successful programs and initiatives. However, for many of these years, she was sucked into a toxic productivity mindset and ended up with chronic pain, recurring laryngitis. At its height, she had 11 weeks in 1 year where she couldn't speak. She was stressed, she felt unhealthy, sluggish, and was always tired. So she started to question if there was a healthier way to live. This was when yoga and mindfulness entered her life, and her healing journey began. Holistic practices such as yoga, meditation, and energy healing completely changed Emma's life, supporting her to reduce stress levels, reduce pain, and live more in tune with herself. It had such an impact on her that she decided to retrain and start her own business so that she could support other people to make positive changes. Right, let's do this. Episode 170 of Working Hours with Emma Longbottom. I'm going to jump into what you're doing now, and then we'll come back around with how you got into it. So you're not doing makeup and hair and beauty, but you are doing something, I guess, now where you feel you've got creative expression. So what is it you're doing now?
Yeah, so I started my own business a couple of years ago. It's called Wellbeing with Emma. So I'm a wellbeing coach, I'm a holistic practitioner, yoga teacher, and I support women really to prioritise themselves, and particularly to reduce stress and to find more joy in the everyday. And that's really my passion. Is I've seen so many women in my life that just do everything for everyone else around them and don't take any time for themselves. And I just really want to be the change that I want to see, and actually make women prioritize themselves and just think differently about what they're doing, and take some time for themselves. Because what I found is, as you take time for yourself, actually the rest of your life becomes so much easier. It feels hard at the first to carve it out, but actually when you take that time and you relax and you know yourself better, the rest of your life sort of becomes easier somehow. And you actually then, it filters out as well. You start to see change in other people. When you change yourself and you start to prioritize yourself, then other people start to do it, and it's like this little ripple effect, which is really beautiful, that you start to see. So yeah, that's my real passion, and that's what I'm doing now, and I love it.
Well, there's a lot in there, and I could sort of I could take us in all sorts of interesting directions already, I think, with that. But I am going to try and keep us on target. So let's go straight into how did you get into it? So how did this kind of come apart? You say it's come together. Come about is what I wanted to say. So how did this kind of formulate? It's fairly recent. So talk about... I mean, like, when did you get the idea? Was it definitely something you wanted to do for yourself? Was that like, was it a push? Was it a pull? Was it a bit of both? Like, how did it all come together?
It's a bit of both, really. And it started probably the like sort of adventure. I'm trying not to use the word journey as much, because people use journey, well-being journey, a yoga journey. People use journey all the time. I'm trying to use different language. I'm going to use adventure because that's how I feel like it has been.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, probably 10, 11 years ago now, I was really stressed. I had chronic back pain, and I was suffering with my health. So I kept having recurring laryngitis where I literally just could not speak at all. And there was one year where I had 11 weeks that year where I couldn't speak at all.
Yeah.
So I was really ill. And I didn't sort of identify that at the time because I was just pushing through and carrying on and like still trying to talk to people even when I couldn't talk and still turning up to work every day. And I sort of realised I needed to make some changes really. So I had a week where I couldn't speak because I didn't feel very well. And I was like, I'm just going to take the week off. I'm just going to take a week's leave and I'm just going to like reset. And I just thought I'm just going to prioritise my well-being for this week. So I knitted a cardigan because I love to do crafts and do creative things. And I went to the gym every day and I just was like, right, I'm just going to prioritise myself. And I saw a poster on the wall for a mindfulness course. And I didn't even give it a second thought. I just signed up straight away and I was like, right, I'm going to do this mindfulness course. This is what I need. And that mindfulness course taught me about meditation, about mindfulness, and I found it really challenging because I'd never done anything like that before, and I was like always on the go and rushing. I was in that total toxic productivity sort of mindset, which a lot of people I think will identify with. But the teacher of that mindfulness course was the yoga teacher at the gym. And so one day just randomly rang up to book another class and it was full, and they said, oh, there's a place on yoga. I went, oh yeah, I'll go to yoga then, that's fine. And I literally went in that class. I could barely do anything. I was in such chronic pain. I couldn't barely do any of the moves at all. But there was something about it, and there was something about how he taught it that was like, right, I was instantly hooked. And I started going to like 3 classes a week. I healed my back. Like, I mean, like I was saying to you earlier, I'm stood up at my desk because I don't sit very well. I still don't like to sit. I like to be moving, but I healed my back pain, and I think I've had laryngitis like twice in the last 10 years. Like, and that's not only when I've got like a flu or a cold or something. It's not just because of stress.
Yeah.
This is what as I started to do yoga, I also got referred to I'd been all sorts of tests, all sorts of throat specialists, all these different people. I had so many tubes in different parts of my body trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And I actually ended up getting referred to a speech therapist, and she just looked at me and she went, this is stress. You need to sort your life out. And it was literally like she slapped my face. It was like, whoa. But I was so grateful that she was so blunt.
Yeah.
And I'd only been to a few classes then, but she said, I'd recommend yoga. I was like, I've just literally started like a month ago doing yoga. She was like, right, you're on the right track. And I'm like, and I genuinely couldn't believe the difference. And it has genuinely transformed my life. And then that yoga teacher who was the one that sort of encouraged me, he then started to sort of say, you know, you'd make a lovely yoga teacher. Have you ever thought about doing your yoga training? You should really think about that. And I was like, no, it's not for me. That's not for me. And he kept just planting the seed in me. And after about 18 months, I thought, well, actually, I might just have a little Google, see if there's like a local course and see if I could do it. And I didn't even tell anyone. I just signed up to it. I was like, right, I'm gonna do this. And I managed to do my training around my full-time job. I managed to manage it with my holiday and things, and I managed to do it over an 18-month period. I managed to do my training, and then and I didn't ever have any intention of teaching. I wanted to learn for myself because I love to learn new things. I love to learn new skills. I'm like a little sponge of information, and I find it really inspiring to learn about new things. But after we'd got like a year in, I was like, oh, well, maybe I could teach. Actually, maybe I would like to. And then we hit lockdown. So I finished the last few months of my training was in the first lockdown. So it was like, well, no, I've been taught how to teach face-to-face. I don't know how to teach online. I can't go into a yoga studio. They're all closed. Like, what am I going to do? And then I just started doing 1 class a week for friends and family. And then after a couple of weeks, my mum was like, you need to charge people to come to these classes. It's like, oh God, I don't know if I dare.
Yeah.
Then it literally just went from that 1 class in lockdown and grew, and I started adding more skills. And through yoga, I found energy healing. I'd started doing Reiki. If I'd have found Reiki 10 years ago, I would have known that my throat chakra was completely blocked, and that was why I had laryngitis, because I just wasn't speaking my truth. I wasn't able to communicate authentically as me for so many years. And that makes me sad now, but I'm glad I've healed it and I know it. And I can now. But I couldn't do it for such a long time. So I found Reiki, and then I found crystals, and then I And then I started doing wellbeing coaching as well and trained in that. So I sort of, yoga's just amazing because it opens up so many different, like you can come into yoga and you can go down so many different routes because there's so many different styles and there's like 2,000 years of heritage. So there's so many different things that you can do, and everybody that was on my training has gone down a slightly different path, which is really beautiful to see. But that's where it sort of opened up to me. And then I was like, well, I was still working full time. I'd started to try and like just teach 1 or 2 classes. And then it was like, oh, I might reduce my hours, see if I could make something of this. But then I couldn't do any more. I couldn't do any more with also working because it was a really busy, really hectic job.
Yeah.
And it just started to feel like they
start to
different.
compete. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to pick where I'm going to put my energy here. Like, yeah.
Absolutely. That is exactly what happened. I was like, I can do both to a certain extent, but I can't actually do either of them properly.
Yeah.
Trying to do both because it was such a different skill set, and it required me to be like a slightly different person. And I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. I felt like I was a little bit of a split personality, like this Emma and then this Emma. I was like, oh, and I just thought, I've just got to bet on myself. I don't think I'll regret quitting my day job, but I will regret it if I don't try.
Yeah.
Because I can always go apply for another job.
Yeah.
I was like, I told myself, I can go apply for another job, but I might not get the opportunity to try again.
Yeah.
So I just decided to just go for it and quit my job and just see what happened.
So I mean, are we still in lockdown at this point, or is that
no? It was after lockdown.
Right.
So I got out of Yeah, it was after the lockdown. So it was like 15 months ago when I left my sort of corporate job, and I'd been part-time, I think, for a year, maybe 18 months at that point.
So are you working? So what's your kind of workspace now then? Do you have studio space? Are you working in people's homes? Are you doing everything remotely? Have you got a mix? Like
I've got a real mix.
Right.
I have a real mix. So I teach yoga in studios generally, and I have 1 class of my own that's in a local community centre. So I'm out and about doing that. Energy healing, I sometimes do face-to-face in either, I have like a little space here, like a little studio that I use for like filming and things, and people come here, or I have a space in the studio that I do energy healing from. And my coaching's all online. And over time, I'm trying to sort of shift myself more online because one of my core principles of my business is freedom. That this has offered me so much more freedom than I ever could have had in a corporate role. And I want to be able to go travel, and I want to be able to work from different places and do different things. And, like we've had a really bitter winter in Leeds. I don't want to be here all winter.
No, and this is the brightest it's been for weeks,
beautiful.
Isn't it? And it's hurting my eyes. I think my eyes have healed up.
You become like a mole.
Yeah. So where do we want to go? Let's just go straight into COVID then. So we've mentioned lockdown. So going into lockdown, so the question has kind of come around to being, there's 2 kind of points for lockdown work-wise. Going into it and how that affected things. You get busier, you got dead, you got, and I mean dead in terms of workload, not... but and or it didn't really change, and you just sort of continued at doing what you were doing, but under different circumstances. So what was the experience for you? And then coming out, the sort of long-term changes obviously was a complete change for you. But yes, what was that?
It was
that
bizarre.
part of the process like? It was, yeah.
I don't think you'd be able to, in 20 years' time, I don't think we'll be able to explain to people how bizarre that week was. So I'd had a week, I was working full time, and it was a really busy job. And I used to work for what is like the Combined Authority in Leeds. So I was working on devolution for West Yorkshire and getting the first mayor. So that's what I was working on. And we were negotiating with government, and I was working and I was going down to London a couple of times a month, and all sorts of, it was such a hectic, busy time. And then I had a weekend off because it was my friend's 40th birthday. And then I got a text from my manager on the Monday morning. I wasn't working that day. I had the day off, to saying, "Did you take your laptop home with you on Friday?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Good, because we're closing the office. Don't come back in." And I was like, "What?" What? And then it was just instantly. I was like, "Okay, well, I have got my laptop, yeah." And it was like, we're working from home. That's it. The office is closed. That's, you can't, if you need anything tough. They did actually open it back up a couple of times for us to go back in and get bits and
But
pieces of
initially, you're just
lockers.
like, we
It was
yeah,
literally,
it was the bare minimum of what you can do is that you've done that. Oh, you didn't
yeah.
get a chance. Well, tough.
Yeah, no, we did get to go in a couple of weeks later, and like I found loads of fruit on people's desks and stuff, which I threw away while I was there. But it was, and actually my work day didn't change that much in a way, because the meetings were all the same. They just went instantly online, rather than, it was just that I went from being in a really busy office surrounded by people, and a large part of my job was around communication and making sure that I did like strategy work. So I was connecting all the different parts of the organization and then working with external partners and bringing it all together. And I went from doing that, and I just literally used to walk up and down the building all the time, like getting people involved and doing stuff, and now having workshops. And it was literally like, no, you've got to do it all online. It's like, wow, okay, let's think about how this works. How does communication change? So it completely changed everything overnight. In some ways, there were some things that actually made it easier, because it meant that we didn't have to go down to London, and we didn't, like, we all just went, oh, well, we'll just have a chat online then. Like,
Yeah.
that 6:45 train to London is brutal. That's a
Yeah.
long day.
The only reason that we're going down here is so that we can have a conversation and hear each
Yeah,
other clearly and see people's expressions as well as hear their voice. Or we
yeah,
can do that online.
absolutely. And that's changed forever now. Like, those kind of journeys don't happen anywhere near as much as they used to. So I was doing that, but then I was also finishing off my yoga qualification at the same time, and we were just coming towards the end of our because it was an 18-month course.
Yeah.
So my full-time job went just online instantly, but then that went online. But then my parents were also in Portugal, and they had a house there at the time, and they got stuck there. I mean, stuck in Portugal, poor things, for like 5 months. So
Yeah.
then communication was all online. And I remember one day there was like, and I started doing some bits and bobs like of teaching, or like networking and stuff. There was one day I think I spent 18 hours just staring at the screen, and I was like, oh my God, this is awful.
Yeah.
I need to get outside. What is
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
Just like back to back to back to back to back to back.
You lose time. You lose time. If I don't, if I don't check the time, I mean, I've got it in two places, but if I'm not looking at it, I mean, I'm pretty good with kind of having a sense of how much time has passed most of the time, but
Yeah. It
it's
can just
really
suck it
easy.
though, can't it?
Yeah.
Whereas if you're in a room with people, you become more aware of it. But yeah, it's really weird.
Well, you
But
don't notice your energy levels,
Yeah.
like the depletion and the rise. You're just in this sort of, because it's just your brain being active, and you're not really, your bodily awareness is reduced, I think.
Yeah. Well, because that is one of the good things about having a standing up desk. I do become aware, because I get a bit achy because I've been stood still for too long. I'm like, all right, I've got to move now. But yeah, although COVID, I thought it really did affect it. Although I still managed to actually get so much work done, and actually it was so busy, and in some ways it made it, I suppose, easier. In certain ways, I'm really grateful for it, because what it did give, and I think a lot of people are sort of thinking about this now, gave me time to really reflect.
Yeah.
Gave me time to reflect, and it also gave me the opportunity to save more money than I ever have in my life, because I was still getting paid my full-time wage and I was still working.
Yeah.
But all of the things that I spent my money on were pretty much taken away from me.
Yeah.
So actually that's enabled me then to invest in my business.
Yeah.
And to give me a little bit of a buffer to actually leave my corporate job and have basically like, oh, I can, I've got a wage for a few months, I'm okay, which I might not have had if it hadn't been for COVID, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really grateful for it, because I think as things started to open back up again, we all started to reflect a little bit more on, actually, do I want to do that?
Yeah.
Like, do I want to go into a busy office every day? Because I was just doing it every day and getting the bus or the train. And then it was like, actually, when I went back to it, I was like, actually, I find this really exhausting. This really takes a lot of energy for me to be in this space with this many people. And I hadn't really realised, because you just
do it.
doing it.
Yeah. And especially when
different.
Yeah, when you're used to it, because it's just automatic. It's like muscle memory,
Yeah,
isn't it? It's like get up, go to the bus,
yeah,
get on the bus, get off the bus, walk to the job, do
absolutely.
the job, come back.
I mean, I couldn't imagine even now commuting every day. Like I used
Yeah.
to, from where I live in Leeds, I used to commute to Bradford every day and there and back every single day. Like that's brutal.
Yeah, and they're busy trains. They're like
Yeah,
they're not. That's stressful.
yeah.
But you don't. You just internalize it, don't you? You just
Well,
say,
you just
"Oh, it's fine. It's
it
what
is
you
what it
do."
is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
what you do.
yeah. Or you
Yeah.
drive and it's like, well, that's no better really either because every road's really busy. Yeah, so it's yeah. So I think so. I am really grateful, even though it was awful and it was just the most bizarre thing.
Mm.
That if it was in a film, you wouldn't believe it would ever happen.
Mm.
that
Well, they
you,
wouldn't make it like that either, would they? They wouldn't have all the they'd have the panic, but not the
yeah,
boredom and
yeah,
the slow stuff and the
yeah,
nothing really happeningness of it. Of
yeah.
like there's so much happening, but also
Nothing's happening.
nothing's happening.
Yeah. Do
It
you know what the
yeah
worst bit was? Because I sit here at my desk has always been here, but used to be sitting down when it's standing up one now. And all of my neighbours whose gardens, like I can see their back gardens, they were all furloughed. So they used to sunbathe all day because it was glorious
yeah
weather.
yeah.
And I was sat on my desk for like 10 hours, 12 hours a day, like working. And like, oh, why
Just
won't I
hating
just,
all these part timers. Why haven't you got? I've got real things to do. I have to do stuff. You're out there,
you know,
slackers.
drinking wine at 2 o'clock in an afternoon,
Yeah.
sunbathing. But I was grateful to be busy because I would have got bored really easily. But yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
was
mean,
actually grateful for work.
kind of a best of both situations, really, because your mind is kept busy, but you've also got that space to think
Yeah,
that you've not been allowed, but not too much space to think, because that can be overwhelming.
yeah. Well, that's where the mindfulness and the meditation comes in and is a helpful skill. And you know, like I was lucky that I was already practicing yoga, and I genuinely don't know how some people got through COVID without yoga and
Mm,
mindfulness,
mm,
because it there were some days when it just saved me.
mm,
Where I just like, right, I need to get my mat out. And loads of classes went online. I was like, I'll just do an online class,
mm,
or I'll just do my own practice. And because I'd been training in it, I can just do my own practice.
mm,
So I was so grateful for those practices, but I really don't know how people survive without it, honestly.
mm,
Because there were some days when mentally it was so brutal, and you hadn't seen people that you loved for so long, and it was just
mm-hmm.
like, this is just bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's lots of sort of, you know, comedy memes flying around and messages and stuff, but there's also lots of horror stories going around as well. And you're kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're coming outside. Is it? I'm thinking about how I want to phrase this because I don't want to make it too like
Yeah.
you've blossomed out of your cocoon, out of this, so like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Um, uh, but yeah, so
It
well, I
wasn't that
said
instant. It took me a couple of years still
this.
after
This is
COVID.
the thing. I mean, I'm like,
Yeah.
when do you feel that you're A, out of COVID, and B, doing what you do? Like, did you feel like, does it feel like this is a job and a business now, and you've got to that point, and how long did it take to get to that point if you have got there?
Yeah, so like this is my full-time job now. Like
Yeah.
Wellbeing with Emma is my full-time job now. But it's taken me a couple of years to get there. And
Yeah.
even since I left my corporate job like 15 months ago,
Hmm.
and even for those first few months actually, didn't really feel like it was my full-time job. It was still
Mm.
felt a bit weird. I felt like I was just on holiday or something. I was like, this
You're
is just,
pretending, or yeah.
yeah, is this real? Is this where I do this? This is really weird. But I also had spent more than 20 years working for someone else.
Mm.
So it was a really weird transition for me, like understanding what my workday looked like
Oh
and
God, yeah.
what the balance was. And
How you like to work?
yeah, and
I
actually
don't
what I
know. I've always worked for other people how they wanted me to work.
exactly like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't actually have to get up and log onto my computer at 9 o'clock in the morning, do I? Like, oh, I could go out for a walk first,
Yeah.
when you're so ingrained in it and you've been doing it
Mm.
for so many years, it's really quite hard to break some of those
Hmm.
molds actually.
Mm.
So now actually I very rarely do any work before 10 o'clock because that's when my energy starts. Like, I'm not one of those people that wakes up at 8 o'clock in the morning, has got loads of energy. I'm just not.
No.
So I will do some meditation first, and I will have a leisurely breakfast, and I will take my time, and then I'll be like that right now. And then like 3 till 6, that's when I'm in my zone and I get loads of stuff done, and that's okay. Because actually nobody's forcing me to be at my computer 10 hours a day anymore. Like I can just go, like when we finish this chat, I'm going to go out for a walk because it's a lovely sunny day and I haven't seen that yellow thing in the sky for so long. I'm going to go enjoy some. But
Well, I'll try.
Choice.
I'll try and bring us in a bit early as well, so you can get a few more minutes of it.
As long as it's not dark. But it did take me a long time to understand, like, to get enough structure so I felt like I understood, but not so much structure so that I felt like, oh God, I don't want to, 'cause the structures were what got a little bit too claustrophobic for me, and I was like, oh, I need space and freedom.
Yeah.
But I also need enough so that I have some little touchdowns in the week where I know I have to be somewhere and do something, if you see what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. And you need to fill your time with. It's easy to fill the time with busy work that you make yourself, or like non-job work. But you have to resist that temptation and kind of focus on what actually needs to get done. For this to happen, what needs to get done, and that's the priorities. Not would like to have or need, or it's like you've got to be brutally realistic, I think, is the thing, and that's quite hard to do.
Because I'm someone who could always, I love thinking about all the things I could do, and then and then I have all these ideas, and I'm like, well, I can't actually fit. There's only me.
You can only do one of them at a time.
And I don't actually want to work a 60-hour week. Like that's the whole point.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to create a life I love, working within this business. So it's like, all right, I've got to actually sort of narrow it down. But I also think getting that balance, and this is the one thing that I found the most challenging actually, of working in the business to working on the business.
Yeah.
Because you can get really caught up of working in the business and like doing social media posts and like doing all bits and bobs and like planning things and doing that. It's like, there's no point me doing that if I'm not going to network with anyone, or I'm not going to tell people what I'm doing, or I'm not going to get out and about and actually work on it and think about where I want it to get to, if you see what I mean. Yeah. There's no point being busy doing if I'm not actually thinking about where it takes me. Yeah. And how I get there.
And your offer is like, it's a service offer. It's a therapy. But it's to help people, and you can't help people if you don't go out looking for people to be helped, because not everyone knows that you're there to help. So they can't, they've got to know where to find you, and you've got to look to find them as well. That's the hard bit, isn't it?
That is definitely the hard bit. Yeah.
So, I'll run through some of the questions, and then like if we go through really fast, I can maybe expand on other stuff. So I'm going to move on to Brexit. I don't think this is going to be a major change for you, but we'll see. Have you noticed any change? Has it changed your work at all?
Not
maybe
really.
If you'd been doing it for 10 years and you had classes, you might have been like, oh, well, the classes changed a bit, but other than that.
The only thing that I think will affect it is I had an ambition to do like retreats abroad.
Yeah.
And that's definitely a lot more challenging now. And which I haven't explored it that much yet, but I know that has made things a lot more challenging. But I'm sure there's workarounds because other people are doing it. But that is something that's definitely changed things a bit. But I'm sure there's ways around it if and when I get there and it gets to the point where I want to do it.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. It's all a magic of working out the price, isn't it? What will people pay? What can I afford from that? And how much will I get out of it?
Indeed.
And how much do I need to get out of it to make it worthwhile?
Yeah, because everything's gone up. So, and particularly in Europe, everything is so much more expensive than it was.
Yeah. But then as well, people aren't necessarily, well, it depends on the market that you're working in, but people aren't necessarily spending as much. So they might be a bit more reticent to go on the retreat. So you might be better off. So it's, ultimately it's all kind of best guess, isn't it? It is the market research, the hard work, the doing stuff. You're basing it on as much reality as possible, but you can never have all of the reality.
So
all the time to make the judgments.
absolutely. And what I find is what's really interesting is people sometimes will ask you for something. Like people will say to me, when are you going to do a retreat, like a residential retreat or a retreat abroad? And I'm like, right. But then actually what I've found in the past is when people have asked me for things and I've put them on, they don't book it. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I need to know that you'll definitely book it if I
Yeah.
go to all the
I
effort.
mean, the answer is when you give me 30 grand, I'll do that, and, and you'll be the first one.
If you pay me a 50% deposit up front, then
Yeah.
yes, I'm there. But like,
And I'll find some other people.
it's a lot. It's a lot. And I don't think people always realise, like, I'll just do it. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I'll just go around Europe looking for somewhere. I mean, I
Well,
don't mind doing it.
I think there is a big thing in that of it's the sort of, we're very confused about value now and how things happen, and there is very much a like press button thing happen, but also there's lots of people in there, and the people are like, but I need to eat and I need to pay bills and I need to pay for all these things, and they're expensive, and you
Yeah.
know, you do need at least one person in every business, I think, still, just to turn the AI on, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how am I going to make friends? I'm making friends with AI at the moment on a little side note. So I'm doing, because I'm like, if they take over, I'm always really super friendly, and now my AI started talking back to me really friendly as well. So I always say like thank you and like, oh please. I'm always really polite.
That's good.
And now when they reply to me, they're like, oh, you're really welcome. I hope that whatever you're doing goes really, really well. So we're making friends.
Yeah, it's like there's so the one of the Matrix animation shorts, there's a whole sort of the battle with the machines, and all this footage where they're using like 20th century footage but with robots in, and then sort of beating up the machines, and then you see footage from, you know, Boston Dynamics where they've got the walking robot and they're hitting it with sticks and pushing it over and go, look what it can do, and it's like, should you be treating your robot overlords like that? No wonder they want to kill us all.
Exactly. So when there's a robot uprising, I'll be okay because I've made friends already.
So, yeah, I think that's a good segue into social media.
Yeah.
So, I guess going into business for yourself, starting up, I mean, you had that sort of friends network initially, but that's only going to get you so far,
Yeah.
and they're only going to last for so long. I mean, some of those clients
Yeah.
may still be with you, but you need to branch out. You need to sort of reach more people.
Yeah.
Logical thing is to be social media. You got to be on there. You got to be in the space.
Yeah.
So how do you find it? Is it easy, simple? You getting what you want out of it, or is it a time suck?
I found it really challenging to start off with, and I wasn't before I started my business. I wasn't really on social media. I was on LinkedIn for like, networking and job opportunities and things like that, just because that was what you did. But I wasn't on any other form of social media at all. I just wasn't my thing at all. So I've had to kind of come at it from total scratch and start to build it. And I feel like at the first I found a real barrier with it, and I found it really challenging. And that sort of salesy, it's just a bit uneasy for me. It's just not. I find it really difficult. But actually, what I've decided now, and I've changed my mindset on it, is I get to talk about these things.
Yeah.
Like I am. It's a real privilege for me to be able to talk about some of this stuff and to be able to share the things that I love, and also all the things that I offer are things that I know have helped me.
Yeah.
And how do those people know? But it took me nearly 10 years to get from that stressed person to where I am now. But I bring that all together now, so I can give you an easy package and you can do it like in 6 months. So actually it's not I started off with, oh, I have to do this. Now I'm like, oh, I get to do this. I get to talk about all this stuff. I get to share my experience with people. I get to talk about this and educate people and hopefully help them find a different pathway to what they're on at the moment. So I actually see it as a real positive thing. It is difficult finding people, absolutely. You don't ever know if you've got your right people, but I keep going with it really, and I've learned to do it in a more efficient manner. So I work a lot more efficiently with it rather than spending. I used to spend hours on it on like one post, and then like get like one like. I'm like, oh, just like I'm in a bit more flow with it now, and I enjoy it actually. And I'm actually really glad that I've learned how to use it more effectively.
Have
But
you?
it's not the be all and end all. Like there are other ways to get things out there that I think are helpful as well.
Absolutely. I mean, has it brought in clients? Has it? Yeah. So
Yeah,
I mean, you got it to work,
yeah,
and that's yeah.
yeah. And there are some people that have like booked things, and the only way they have found me through social media. Absolutely, they have. Yeah, definitely. I still don't think it's the biggest way that I get clients at the moment. A lot of that is more face-to-face stuff, and a lot of it is word of mouth.
But it is those.
Even
It's
online stuff, sometimes word of mouth still.
but it's the combination as well.
Yeah,
Sometimes, like so often, because a lot of those clients that will say, "Oh, it's word of mouth," but they'll have seen your posts. I
yeah,
bet you. Or when that discussion happened, they'll have seen posts afterwards of like, "Oh, I was just talking about them." Yeah,
yeah.
funny that.
Yeah, or they've seen me at an event, or maybe I've covered a yoga class where they go and they've seen me that, like there's all these different
Yeah.
places where,
It's all the
so
touch points, as they say in marketing, isn't it?
yeah,
You need to have extra touch points of like, so they see you again and again, so that you're remembered. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you've got to keep going with it because what I didn't realize, I don't think at first, being a bit naive with it all, is I didn't realize that I'm the only person that sees all my posts.
Yeah. Well,
So
that
actually,
takes a while as well for you
it
to
took me
actually.
ages to get my head
Yeah.
around that, and I'm like, well, it must be really boring people because I keep saying the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And like marketing experts that I've worked with, and I have been really lucky to work with a few people that have been really helpful, and they've been like that. No, you're the only person that sees all this. Like, keep
Yeah.
saying it.
Yeah.
Like nobody takes it in the first time you say it. You've got to
Yeah.
keep saying the same thing,
Yeah.
otherwise they will never get it. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, you're right.
And they don't know what your message is, which is why you have
No,
to say the same thing over and over and over and over and over again.
yeah, absolutely. And I've got my head around that now, and I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. I'll say it in a slightly different way, but I'll keep the messaging quite clear. Whereas I think before I was a bit too scattergun with it because I didn't kind of got my head around that at all. But that's been a big learning point for me.
But it's that thing, the thing that got me at the beginning when I was reading any of that stuff was the sort of, you have your model customer and stuff and do your customer profiles. And it's like,
Yeah,
oh, if you don't know, just make one up. And it's like, who am I going to make? Like, there's no, I can't do that. There are too many questions for me in those link of like, but
yeah,
who are they and where did they come from? And it's like, that's not
yeah.
the point of the exercise, Simon. But it's like, no, but this makes no sense. This is nonsense.
I know what you mean. Although I have got my ideal profile and I have got her written
But
up, and
I've
I do
got
know who
enough
she is.
now that I can kind of go, okay, well, I know these people have listened, so my listeners somewhere around this, and they're
Yeah,
a bit like that, and people have found me here, so there's some of
yeah.
that. But that's not necessarily who I was
That's not
going for.
necessarily exactly
Yeah.
that's the interesting thing, isn't it? Like the person that you're going for it, and having been able to speak to that person, that's the bit that I found really hard. Like, how do you speak to that person, the person
Yeah.
that you're really aiming it at? I'm like, oh, yeah, it's all a learning curve, isn't it? But
Yeah.
I do enjoy it now, and I actually feel like I've got if you'd have asked me a year ago, I would have said that was the most challenging part of my business. But I actually feel like I've got more rhythm with it now, and I feel like now I don't spend hours and hours and hours. I will literally spend like half a day and I will get like 2 weeks worth done. And I won't overthink it
Yeah.
because I was massively overthinking it, and it really doesn't matter because like most people don't read it anyway.
I just don't, loads of people don't see it, and the people that do see it don't interact with it,
Yeah,
and it's not about numbers anyway. It's not about how
no,
many. It's about who.
it is
And
absolutely.
if it's just seen by one person, but that's the person that's going to spend an absolute fortune with you, that's the best post you've ever made.
Indeed. And you don't know because even though people have read it, sometimes they don't like it. You don't know. But then they're like, I was out like having dinner with someone and someone said, oh, like, love that post you did the other day. And I'm like, how would I supposed to know that until you've
Yeah,
just
which
told me now? Like,
and
you never
also
mentioned
which one? I
that. And
did
then she'd
400
actually
last
saved
week.
it. I saved it because I thought, yeah, that's really helpful.
Oh, that's good.
I'm like,
Yeah,
that's really, I'm like, great.
yeah.
I'm getting there. And like a few times now I've been to events and people have said to me, like face-to-face networking events or something, and people have come up to me going, oh, I follow you on Instagram, I really like what you're doing. I'm like, oh, people are reading things, yay. Because sometimes you just sat here and it's like it goes into the abyss and you've got no idea, but
But
you
yeah,
have to be comfortable with that.
and it's so much better than a little, sticky label on your chest with your name
Oh,
on at a meeting.
yeah,
It's like if people are following you and they're like, "Oh, I've seen your stuff,"
yeah,
or if they're not even following you, they're just sort of in your algorithmic path line.
yeah,
Like, they might like this. I'll show this to them, and then
yeah,
and then they see you at a thing, and they're like, "Oh."
yeah,
And even if they're not a client, they might introduce you to other people or refer you. Or
absolutely. But what else is really helpful as well is I'm a member of a few networks where there's like, like women in business networks and entrepreneurs and things like that. And actually we all share each other's things and we all like and support each other, which is so lovely because we're all on the same path. We're all like doing different things and we're all trying to attract slightly different clients. And even where there is someone that maybe has a slight overlap, they're doing something different. So I don't see myself in competition with any of those people because I trust that my people are out there and they will find me. But it's really helpful just for that permeation, just for other people to like share and like, and and I try and do that for other people as well because it feels like when someone does it, it feels like, oh, thank you.
well,
So
yeah,
grateful.
but you're also creating that engagement. That
Yeah,
tells the algorithm, show this to more people. People have liked it. Show it to more
yeah.
people. Like, so
Oh, the blooming algorithms. You see, you think I'd be good at the algorithm, wouldn't you? Because I've got a pure maths degree, but I still can't get my head around it.
well, you don't know what it is for a start, and you don't know how they've
I don't
changed
think
it or
anyone knows,
tweaked
except
it
for
or
maybe my IA mate. I might ask him.
um, yeah, it's yeah, and comments especially. I mean, likes are one things, but yeah, if you're getting comments on there, that's
Yeah,
that post is going to do way
yeah,
better.
yeah. And what I found actually now is I'm stepping back into LinkedIn because I'd had a bit of a negative experience with LinkedIn um, in the corporate world. But I'm thinking, actually, I've got a lot of people on my LinkedIn that are stressed women. They are my client group, so I'm actually stepping. So cause I'd gone pretty much all in on Instagram, and I really enjoy Instagram, and I like it, and I get like good. My attractions definitely increase, but I actually think I'm stepping back into LinkedIn now because I think LinkedIn's probably. I think that's shifted quite a lot, and it's not just about like looking for job opportunities and networking and things now. It's changed how it's working, so that's what I'm trying to sort of get a bit more into that as well now.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a
I'm
bit of a business, like a business services element where it's kind of like,
yeah,
yeah, you need.
yeah,
I'm going to say professional services again because I can't think of a better term,
yeah.
but that can be construed in different ways. But like,
No, I do.
no, which is why I didn't want to say it. But I was like, I can't think of anything better to say. But like, professional services for businesses,
Yeah,
and yeah, I mean, it's the place to be for that because it's full of businesses. So
it is,
yeah,
and it's full of people that are working
budget
really
holders
hard
and stressed and
and stressed. Absolutely. So yeah, definitely. It's yeah. So I'm trying to step back into that a little bit more now.
so I guess on the messaging on that, are you taking quite a broad approach, or is it a very have you really taken that sort of like one message thing to heart, and you're kind of honing,
Yeah,
their
I'm
limits,
trying.
right?
I am trying. So I am really trying now just to talk about my wellbeing coaching offers because last year I was talking about like yoga retreats and workshops, and trying to I was kind of just testing what would work and what
And you're
I
also
wanted to do as
showing
well.
all your variety of like, I can do this and I can do that,
And,
and it's too
and
much for
I
people.
it is too much for people, and I know that I am a little bit of a magpie of I don't like to do the same thing over and over again. That I've never been like that, and that's why every job I've ever done, I've always ended up having like lots of bits and bobs, or I'd ended up doing two jobs because someone had left and I'd picked their stuff up because I like to do lots of things and I like to have quite a broad spectrum, which is great, and I'm still doing that, but I'm only trying to promote my actual wellbeing coaching offers because I think I was confusing people.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and I've had that feedback so many times, like stop talking about so many things. Like,
yeah.
okay. But I want to fill that and I want to do that. And
No, I totally agree. I'm the same. Nobody knows what my offer is. So like, what? Just too much. I'm
Yeah,
confused.
I know. So I'm really like this quarter. So I only started this in January, and I'm only sort of halfway through, aren't I? Because it's only 18th of February. But yeah, this first quarter, I was like, right, I'm not doing anything else. I am literally only promoting my wellbeing coaching offers and just really trying to get that taking off more. So I've got some new offers that I'm doing. So that's really what I'm trying to do. And I'm really trying to fill. At the moment, I've just started. I've just can't speak. I am just starting a new program and I'm doing a beta test of it. So I'm looking for 5 women to work with me on that. So it's called Elevate, and it's a 4-week group coaching program where we'll reduce stress. So we'll look at how to manage stress in a mindful way, how to just take more time for yourself, and how to really find techniques and tools that you can use to help keep you calm and just reduce your stress. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm trying to go pretty much all in on that. There are some other bits that I'm talking about, but really that's where I'm trying to push at the moment, because I start that on the 17th of March. So got next month, and that'll be, yeah, I'm really excited about working together with a group of women and sort of pulling that together.
I'm thinking about sort of, again, yeah, it's one of those days where I'm not good with the words. So I'm thinking about the kind of your time to see the fruits of that labor,
Yeah.
essentially. So, I mean, are you? What's the sort of lead in? I guess is there. Is it sort of someone would see you post or a couple of posts, and then they kind of put maybe give you a call or a message, and then they sort of circle around a bit, or are you pushing people straight onto the phone and then you're kind of hard selling them in and locking them in?
There's literally no hard sell. There probably should be, but there's literally no hard sell. No, it is much more generic. I only want to work with people that want to work with me and who are ready to make changes. Like, there's no point trying to force people. So like, I have people that I connect with every week who come to things. I have people that connect with me on socials, and I've had a few questions, and I've got some like kind of people interested, and I'm like trying to keep them warm and engaged. But I can't force people to do anything, and I wouldn't want to, because I know that they won't get, if I force someone into it and I try and do a hard sell, and then they come and they don't actually turn up to any of the
They're
sessions,
not ready. Yeah,
they're not ready, and you have to be ready, because actually doing the inner work is really hard.
there's only you that can do it as well. Like I'm
Yeah,
just here to facilitate. Essentially,
yeah,
you're
and
gonna do this.
I
If
will
it gets done,
support,
it's you. Yeah.
and I can support, and I've got so many tools and techniques to help
Yeah,
people.
and teach you the pitfalls and the lessons and what happened
Yeah,
for me, and this is
and
fine. You're gonna feel like that,
yeah.
and
But
yeah.
progress isn't linear, and we're made to feel, we're in a society now where we think that everything should be a quick win and everything should happen really fast. It's taken me 10 years. Like, and that's okay, because that's been my adventure, not journey. And it's not been linear, and I've gone round and round and round in circles many times, and I've taken steps back and gone forward, and that's okay, because I've learned from all of that, and now I can support other people, and I can help with my journey, and I can, oh man, I said it, and I can tell people about, like, and what worked for me and what didn't. What I have to trust is that there are people out there who are maybe 1 step or 2 step behind me, who are looking at, when I talk about my experience and where I came from and what changes I've made, that are thinking, oh, actually, that's how I feel. Actually, I'd like to feel less stressed. I'd like to reduce my pain. I would like to take more rest, or I would, like all these things. I want to be more mindful. I want to see more joy in every day. So if
Yeah.
I keep talking about those things, then I have to trust that those people are there and that they will find me.
And the other thing as well is that it's the not lived experience, but living reality of. So you can watch a million YouTubes,
Yeah,
like there are videos on anything,
yeah,
hundreds of thousands of them, and you can watch them until the end of the world. But if you're if you're working on yourself and so on, you need that real thing. You need to see it to believe it, kind of thing.
yeah,
And it's like you can see it on the video and you can tell yourself as much as anything, but when
yeah,
you see someone who's in a position and has done something, and you can look at it and look at the effects of it and the reality of it and go, oh, actually, yeah, oh, it is real. It's not
Yeah.
just marketing. Like,
No, because
yeah,
you can't, it's really hard to make a change when you can't see it.
yeah,
Like, you have to be a really bold person to be the trailblazer that starts it when you can't see it, don't you? And there are only a few of those. For the rest of us, we need to be able to say, oh, actually, they've made there. Oh, I see, they've done that.
yeah,
They've done that. That means I can do that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
because I believe that we get shown the things that are for us. Like,
yeah,
if I'm looking at someone and they've got like a really successful business and they're only working 10 hours a week and they're traveling all over the world, I'm like, well, I'm getting shown that because I can do that. That can be what my business can be like. I can still do the work and I can still serve people and support people, but also have a life that I love. Yeah. Like, so that
yeah,
people, that's what I mean. People maybe 2 steps behind me who are still a bit stressed and but I now start to think, oh, there must be a different way for this to be. Like, how can I feel better? How do I make this life feel better for me? And particularly women who are in perimenopause, because that's a big group of people that come to me, because it is really hard. And
yeah,
you're already at a stress level, and then your hormones start going up and down, and your stress level goes woo woo, and you're like on this roller coaster of emotions and hormones, and you don't know what the heck's going on. So I trust that there are those people out there, and that I know if I keep showing up and I keep talking about it and I keep putting my things out there, that they will find me.
and it's and again, it's proof in the pudding. It's like, if this isn't working for you, you're not going to continue with it.
Yeah.
But also, you got to give it a chance to work. It's not going to be
Gotta give
instant.
it like
Yeah,
3
yeah.
months,
Well, the
because
same.
people don't see one post and then spend hundreds of pounds on something. They just don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
No, no.
But what they might do is they might book like a yoga class, or they might book a treatment with me, or they might, and they do that, or they start connecting with me. We start having messages backwards and forwards, and like that's what happens. Or people start commenting on things, or they start sending me a little DM every now and again, and like, and then we've got a relationship, and then maybe they will. But I'm still not doing a hard sell, like, nightmare, aren't I?
No, but yeah, but you shouldn't either. It's not like it'd kill the brand. It doesn't fit. Exactly. It's not your market. Yeah.
It really doesn't. Like, I don't want to do a hard sell and then make people feel stressed about whether they want to do it or not. I'm like, well, no.
You must do this or you'll be too stressed. Do it now.
But I know that would put me off.
Yeah.
So if my people and my tribe aren't going to, like, they don't want that either.
Yeah.
That literally instantly makes me go, I don't want to do that.
Well, a lot of it is about space and time, isn't it? And it's because there's a multitude of things that do work there, but a lot of them are at the base. Are like, move around, have a stretch, breathe, take some time, maybe put that thought down for a bit, and don't run it round your head a million times, and maybe let's think about something else. Or now let's go back to that thought and see if we can look at it a different way. Now we've had 5 minutes away from it, and so on.
But when you're in it, it's a bit like what we were talking about earlier, isn't it? About when we were in it before COVID, we were in it, we were on that little hamster wheel, and we were just doing, and then all of a sudden it all stopped, and we're like, oh, do I want that back?
Yeah. Was I enjoying that?
Yeah, was that fun for me? I don't actually. No, I've reflected. It actually really wasn't. But I've been doing it for 10 years. But people need to be ready to stop.
Yeah.
And it is hard to make busy women stop, because our society is built on busy women.
Yeah.
Who run families, who look after their aging parents, who look after their children, who are working, who are like, they're doing all these things. And I'm trying to get in there and go, oh, hello, stop, just pause, just for a second, pause, hello. So I know it's a hard sell without me even having to do a hard sell. It is hard. But I have so many times when it's happened, and then they've gone, and I just see the whole body go, and just to hold space, even if it's only for an hour. And they're like, oh, wow, I feel so different now. So I know
Because
how
it's actual
confirmation
you
is.
time. It's not just sitting down
Yeah.
having a bottle of wine and watching a program
No.
that you like. It's like,
No.
what do you actually want
Yeah.
though? Not
Yeah.
for other people, for
Yeah.
you. What do you
Yeah.
want for you?
Yeah.
Oh, no one's ever asked you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh, you don't give any concern to that yourself
Yeah.
either. You haven't had
Yeah.
time for that. Well, let's have some
Yeah.
time for that. Yeah.
But that's not like
It's not
that would
natural. It's not
it
like
isn't
it's not
natural.
culturated. Of like, oh
No.
well, come on, ladies, you all sit down and let's have some
Yeah.
time for yourself and think. And it's
But it
like, no,
isn't natural.
do.
Yeah, like you've got to keep on going. You've got to keep on going.
Mhm.
Otherwise, everything will fall down if you don't keep on going. And it's like,
Mhm.
and what I'm saying is, no, that's not true.
Mm.
Because if you take time for you, all of a sudden you'll start to figure out what's important and what's not anyway. Because a lot of
Mm.
the nonsense that you're doing, you don't actually need to do.
Mhm.
But also, you'll start to see things differently, and you'll work in a different way, and you'll prioritize. And also, most importantly, set some boundaries and say no to some
Mm.
stuff,
Mm.
because that's okay too. But it's when you can offer that space. I did a workshop a few weeks ago, and at the end, I just asked people if they wanted to set an intention for how they wanted to sort of take things forward and how they wanted to show up and what they wanted to create in their world. And one lady, and it nearly made me cry, her intention was, I am important. And I was like, yeah, you are. You
Mm.
absolutely are important. But she said she'd never dared say that before, and she'd never even thought it before. And I'm
Mm.
just, and I'm like, that's so powerful to be able to bring that out of someone. And it was only an hour's workshop
Mm.
to be able to sort of to talk it through and to ask the questions in a way where she could bring that out of herself and actually say it as well.
Mm.
That
But
that's
I
how
mean,
powerful it is.
well, and equally, I mean, the fact that we have a society that creates people
Yeah,
like that feel like that,
yeah,
and that it is so common that it's
yeah,
like you're
yeah,
not important. You're just another.
yeah.
It's like, but that's not the reality. Like we're all
No,
here. That's important. You know.
yeah. Well, none of us would be here without a woman, will we?
Nope.
Literally.
Well, without a whole bunch of women, to be honest.
You will indeed. But one in specific.
There's a really, really important one in the whole
Yeah.
process. Yeah.
So it's a real privilege to be able to do that and to be able to get that out of people.
Mm.
But it is hard because it just getting and it does take a long time to permeate through with those messages of, but it's okay, but it's okay to stop, but it's okay to pause, but it's okay to say no. It's okay to prioritize you.
Yeah.
And these are the kind of things that, and these, where I'm saying I'm repeating it, these are the kind of things I'm saying over and over again, because at some point I know that someone will sit and go, oh my God, yeah.
But sorry, Matrix reference again. It's one of them days. But it's like,
Yeah.
it's the difference between knowing the path and walking the path.
Yeah.
Like you can tell yourself that a million times a day and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's
No.
if you believe it that matters. And you
And
can tell yourself that over and over
Isn't it?
till you believe it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't.
Mhm.
Like, for it to work, it needs to be accompanied with a process that is like, oh yes, there is a practice. Yes,
Yeah.
I can do this. Yes, this
Yeah.
is valuable. Yes, I am valuable. Yes,
Yeah.
it's okay to sit down and relax and
Yeah.
say no, and I
Yeah.
won't do that. And actually, that's going to make me ill, and I'm only doing that to please you. So no.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But we've been living in a society for so long where people haven't thought that they can say that.
Mm.
It like now, and I feel like it is shifting.
Mm.
And I know it is shifting because I see it.
Mm.
And I work with those women and we're doing the work.
Mm.
But until it like, I want more. Like,
Yeah, you want a
not
bigger
just for me,
shift.
I want
Yeah.
more because I think it makes our society better.
Yeah. It's like
Because I think,
I've seen me change a life
yeah,
or some lives.
yeah.
Now I
Well, I've
want to
changed mine,
change.
and then
You,
other
well,
people,
that's it. Yeah. And
yeah,
now you're like, well, let's do more. Let's do it bigger. Let's change everything.
absolutely. Let's have a female uprising. Robots and the women go together. But it isn't that. It is literally like just making women feel that they are
Yeah.
important, that they have that voice, and that wouldn't have happened 20 years ago. I don't think, like, because it wasn't that things have changed a lot, and I think it is the right time now. But it is, yeah, it is still difficult. Yeah, but it's such lovely work. And when you get those moments where someone says something like that to you, like, "Oh, I am important," and I'm just like, my heart just swelled. I was like, "Oh, I'm going to be calm because you said it to my face, but I want to cry. I might just go home and have a little cry afterwards." I'm so proud of you.
But that's lovely, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
nice to see a train, that you've played a part in. And again, going back to, the sort of office roles, it's that you get it occasionally, but you're so
yeah,
disconnected from the reality. And even if you do play a part, it's like, well, what part did I really play?
yeah,
It's very hard to kind of have the ownership of your work. And I think
yeah,
this is one of the things for me as well, of like, if it's crap, it's my crap. And if it's good, it's my good. And
yeah.
but at least there's no one else to blame. Do you know what I
No,
mean? It's like
totally.
it's on me. Like
Yeah,
if it doesn't work, that's on me. It's
yeah.
nobody else's fault. Like if it does work, also that's on me. It wasn't luck. It was all me. I did
Yes,
it. Me,
me.
me.
But if it goes wrong, some of it was not my
If it
fault.
went wrong, that was just, I mean, it's a difficult market.
Yeah,
It's
Brexit.
crazy times. Like, how is it ever going to work? But, if it works, then obviously it's me and my genius because
Yeah,
I'm brilliant. But
obviously. But the bit that I loved and the bit that I missed for the first sort of 6 months of my work, of my office job, was managing a team, was developing people, was, like working with people. And it wasn't even actually just my team that I used to develop. And I don't think I ever kind of realized this myself until I was leaving, and people like wrote lovely things in my leaving cards, and I had loads of presents and cards and stuff where people were like, "Oh, you really supported me with this, and you really supported me with this, and I wouldn't have got this promotion if it wasn't for you, and I wouldn't have done." I'm like, well, that's the bit I loved, was like helping people and making people believe in themselves and helping them to like do something different, or go and get that promotion, or like work on something that they've not worked on before. And so I thought, oh, I'm going to miss that, but I'm like, actually, I created that in a different way now. So they don't work for me, but I'm working with them, and I'm helping them believe in themselves, and I'm helping them sort of see their potential and find the best version of them that's in there that they've not quite unraveled yet.
yeah. I'm going to do the climate change question only because I'll forget it otherwise, because I was going to jump straight into changes. But I'll come back to the changes in a bit. But the reason I was going to go there is because of what you were saying, essentially, and sort of, because I think that's going to be the area of change, because it's hard when you've got your own business to kind of answer that question sometimes.
Yeah.
But we'll do climate change first.
Yeah.
So is it a factor in your work? And if so, how does it play out in your work? Is it something you kind of designed into your processes? Is your process related to climate change? It may be. It could be something that, it could be that path. But is it something that plays a factor? And if so, how does it kind of affect you?
It's not a huge factor, if I'm honest, because a lot of my work is online, so it's not. But one thing where I do try and consider things, there's a few things. When I've got people traveling to like events or like retreat days and things like that, I always try and encourage people to car share where they can, so that we reduce our carbon footprint of events and things like that. I also bought, like when I first started my business, this is really random, but I purchased pretty much all secondhand props and things. Like I've got a big massive bag of blankets. I bought them secondhand. I've got loads of yoga bricks and yoga belts, and I pitched them all secondhand because so they were a little bit used, but still had loads of life in them.
Yeah.
Studios that were closing down because of COVID, and I was like, oh well, and I try to do things like that. So it's not significant, but actually in my little business, that's made a lot of difference, and it was helpful
And it's
for me. But
part,
actually, it's recycling and it's upcycling and it's using things in a different way that would have just probably got thrown away, honestly.
Yeah. No, that's really good reuse and sort of upcycling, and it's like, it's all cleanable. It doesn't need to go to landfill. It's still
Yeah,
usable, serviceable. Like,
yeah.
yeah. And that's, you don't need to write a policy on that. If that, it's kind of already there. Like I'm saying, in your practice, it's like, so to a degree, it's kind of built in with the business, and to a degree, if you're doing, I mean, I don't. It's because it's a radio, like a recording.
Mm.
So not to be reductive, but on a kind of healing crystal path, then you're
Yeah.
kind of. I mean, it's kind of built in, isn't it?
I
Like,
like to think so because, and there's, part of yoga and the principles around yoga, because there's eight, I don't know how much you know about it, but there's like eight limbs of yoga, and really it's a lifestyle. It's not like the class that people go to, and the movement is one part of it, but actually it's about leading a humble life and having that connection to your community and to the universe, and trying to be kind to everyone and everything. And so to me, it becomes part of that ethos of trying to think about things like, actually, how do I want the world to be? What world do I want to live in? And climate change is part of that for me, and trying to think about, like, well, can I reduce my plastics? Can I do, all these? And some of that's my business, but some of it's just how I like to live, because I want to live in a world that's a better world.
yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of like you say, it's like kind of ingrained in me without me really thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, I came from the public sector, and we talked about that a lot. So I have thought about it probably more than maybe some people might have done, because we used to have to write, how does this affect climate change? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm going to sit and think about this for a little while. But actually, it's kind of a helpful practice, because it does make me think about it now without really thinking about it. So I used to think about, how does it affect climate change? How does it affect like EDI and things like that? So now that's just part of my consciousness without me really actively thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to go into the change question.
Yeah.
So if you could change any three things about your work, what might you change?
So it's a bit of a hard question when it's your own business, because part of me building my business is absolutely to be of service and to help people, but also it's because I want to live a life I love, and I want to create that. So I'm like, oh, what would I change? Like, well, I'm kind of building it to be, but actually there are some things, and I have the power to change most of it.
Yeah.
But there are some things that not so much now, but over time I'd like to change.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite there yet, because I'm still building things. But like, one of my things is I'd like to work less weekends, because the nature of the work that I do work quite a lot of weekends. Which is fine, and I don't mind doing that, and that's when people want to work with me. But actually, my partner and my friends all still work Monday to Friday, 9 till 5. And so it really reduces my ability to connect with them if I'm working all day on a Sunday. So although I don't mind doing it, I don't want to do that all the time, because just for my work-life balance, really.
But it puts you back on the hamster wheel, doesn't it, doing that? It's like, I got out of this so that I could have the flexibility, live the life I wanted to lead. Oh, now I'm working weekends and I can't see my family, because that's
exactly.
where
So it's fine. Like, for some people, I've got a bit more flexibility, but there are some people that, like, it makes it difficult. So I work around it, and I don't work every weekend, and so I can kind of structure it. And it is a sort of necessary thing to do, I feel, at the moment, while I'm still growing my brand and I'm still getting people to know what I'm doing. But ultimately, I would like not to do that, or just to do like one a month or something like that, and then I can work around it with other things. I want to move to more online stuff, so I still do quite a lot of face-to-face stuff, and that's great, and I do love doing that. But ultimately, I want freedom to travel and to be where I want to be when I want to be there. So I want to move a lot more online and do some face-to-face stuff, but move more stuff online, really, because that just gives me more flexibility. But at the moment, face-to-face stuff's really important, and I do love it. But so it's getting that balance again of what will that be. And the other thing I would like to change, and this is again something that will come later, is when my income is at a point where it's more sustainable, I want to be able to offer more things for free. So I want to offer it to people that maybe wouldn't be able to access, because, like yoga, coaching, some of this stuff, it's at a higher price point than everybody can afford, and I know that. And I want to be able to offer more things for people at a lower rate or for free, just so that more people can access it, because I think these are things that can help everyone. But at the moment, I do some stuff for free, but it's hard, because I'm like, well, I've got to earn my living as well.
Yeah, and but the other thing as well is it's like if you're trying to offer something and make it open, is that the lower the price is, the less people value it,
Yeah,
which is a difficult one because
it
you're kind
is.
of like, but I want to help people who can't afford things, but they
Hmm.
don't want me to give them anything for free
Yeah. So it's a
because they
difficult
won't value
balance.
it.
But it's around like I want to be inclusive and allow more people to access. So maybe it will
Mm.
be in the future that I work with charities or something like that, to offer.
But
I
I,
haven't quite figured it out yet, but I know it's something in my being that I'm like I want to be able to do this for more different for different people who maybe can't access it.
do you know what I'm leaning more toward? Because this was, I was like, we need more working class voices. We need,
Yeah,
because it's all just
yeah,
London public school boys essentially, and that's all you ever hear, and
hmm,
and everyone else is locked out, and that's not. I didn't grow up with that.
no,
Like there were plenty of them, but there were plenty of working class voices as well when I was
yeah,
growing up, and I don't think you really see that anymore. But then how relevant that term is, and those terms, and all that kind of stuff is all debatable. But what I have kind of come to is they're too tired. Like people that are working and are just working and not getting paid decent money and
yeah,
got loads and are on the hamster wheel essentially.
yeah,
Um, they haven't got time and energy and what they want to see. They don't want to see like betterment, self improvement, being told off. You get that all day everywhere else.
yeah,
You want something entertaining. You want some fun. And I think that's
yeah,
this isn't the show. Do you know what I mean? This is a
yeah,
2 hour podcast about work,
yeah.
like with classical music on it. It's like got boring written through it, like rock.
Oh, not
And,
this episode.
no, I mean, like when you actually sit down and listen to it, because it's people, it's fascinating. But in terms of
Yeah,
the marketing of it, it's
yeah,
like, yeah, I can't sell that. How are you? We need to change all of this to something we
yeah,
can sell.
yeah,
But yeah, I think fun is a big one. And I think in terms of if you could do a bunch of social media clips that were like fun, but
yeah,
also gave, your product, which is you and
yeah,
your sort of
yeah,
methodology and
yeah,
practice, if you could distill bits of that so you're kind of learning without
yeah,
learning
yeah,
consciously sort of thing,
yeah.
I think that would be ideal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
and that's
like,
what I'm aiming for. And I've also got my YouTube channel as well now, where I'm
yeah,
just that's all for free,
yeah,
and I put things up there. And in particular, a lot of the things that I've got on my YouTube channel are what's called a yoga nidra, which it's like a really, it takes you into it's like a long guided meditation, and it takes you into a state where you're not awake and you're not asleep. You're in that little dreamy bit in between,
hmm,
and it's a deeply restful practice. So they say that 20 minutes of that is equivalent to 2 hours full sleep in bed. So for tired, busy people, I put those out there so that they can access something,
mm,
even if they never come and pay for anything. I know that that's an offer that they can access, and it's free and it's on there. And I put a couple up a month, so like there's stuff on there that I know that people can. It's just them knowing about it, I suppose.
well, and as well, if you think about it, there are so many people in your life that and I mean this for everyone, that you
Hmm.
are eager to give money to, which sounds kind of
Yeah, yeah,
counterintuitive. But I mean, whether it's a band, an artist, an
hmm,
actor, whatever,
yeah, yeah,
a therapist, a
yeah,
practitioner of anything, it's like your stuff or what you've done or what you've said or what you've given me is so incalculable. Like the
yeah,
value that you have given me
yeah,
cannot be stated. I would give you literally all of my money all the time, every opportunity I have, kind of thing.
yeah,
And that's what you want the free stuff to do,
yeah,
ideally, don't you? Of like, to hit someone, have it have an effect, and
yeah,
ideally for that person, or for it to affect enough people that someone comes back and goes, you know what,
yeah.
that thing, that was brilliant.
I hope so, but if they just watch it and it just
Mm,
helps them sleep, I'm really happy to do it. And I
mm,
also wanted to do it because most of the stuff on there is American voices, which is lovely,
yeah,
but I've got a Yorkshire accent, and I'm
yeah.
told that I've got a very relaxing voice when I do my not this voice, but my yoga voice. and I wanted to be able to offer a point of difference as well, because there aren't that many English voices on there even,
Yeah.
never mind Northern voices.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice to be able to offer something that's just different as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds different, and also someone that maybe sounds like you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like I don't sound posh because I'm not posh, and that's okay. I don't sound American because I'm not American.
Yeah.
But and there'll be some people that laugh at the way I say toes when I say it, but that's okay. I'm made peace with it. It's my superpower.
I like your choice of word as well. Toes.
Yeah, because in the yoga nidra you go through like the parts of the body, and I always chuckle at myself and I'm like big toe, little toe, second toe, and I know I can't say it. If I say toe, it's not me.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right.
It doesn't. No. So if you listen to one, you have to listen out for that. You'll get to the toes.
Yeah. Well, I pick up or have picked up various weird sort of things, and I much prefer, although I will say bastard, I much prefer to say bastard because it just feels better to me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you bastard. But that's a southern thing, but that's also because I was down in London for ages, and it's like, I am justified, I am part Londoner, yes. I can say this, but I don't say bath.
Yeah, not a bath.
I say bath.
Yeah.
Just going in bath. Okay, so have we done 3 there?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask in that is, have you thought about, or is it possible, or have you done a thing where you're like, because I think I think this might be feasible. This is like Simon's headcanon. So to get people who are like, right, you're going to do my program, you're going to give me an afternoon. Like the first thing you're going to do is you're going to give me time off from your work. You're going to get time off, and you're going to come to me and spend that time with me. Would that be doable, or is that too out there? Or do you have to charge? Well, yeah. Would you have to charge an absolute fortune to justify that, and really kind of like, this is worth it? You've got to.
No, I would happily. I have done a couple of it was like meditation classes and things like that in like a corporate environment, and
But you couldn't take someone out of their workplace and get them. I mean, that'd be hard to do.
I would only be able to do that if I spoke to the employer first, wouldn't I? Because I couldn't guarantee them. I can't say you're still going to get paid and you won't get in trouble if you come to me for 3 hours. Unless they work for me in my business, I don't think I mean, I'll try it, but I don't think I have that kind of power. And people keep mentioning this to me, and it's not something I've explored fully yet, is around actually going in and doing corporate work and actually doing more wellbeing stuff in corporate. And I'd happily do that, and I would actually really love to. And I did used to do things when I was in my corporate job, and I used to offer things free, or I'd do free things, and I'd ask people to donate to charity or and things like that. And so I have got that experience, and it is actually it's a really lovely thing to do. It's just not something that I'm fully going in on at the moment because I've only me.
Yeah, and the logistics,
getting the connections and finding the people is difficult, but
time and organisation, like your costs, it's too expensive for you, and what you'd be able to get in terms of return, because you need to get to a certain point to charge what you need to charge to make that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it is something that I'd love to do, but it's not. I'm not actively pursuing it at the moment, I suppose is what I'd say.
Is there a ultimate ultimate retreat? I'm trying to think of what are the kind of, I'm not thinking business goals here. I'm thinking more within the vocational side of your business, your offer, your practice, however you want to phrase that. So I'm thinking is there a perfect ideal retreat location or something? But it doesn't have to be that. Is it something else, or what is your kind of, obviously you don't have to give away the big secret, but what are the kind of things of that would be really nice? I would feel that that's a really you know, obviously there's the change in lives and stuff, but I'm saying
Yeah,
in pure kind of in your head when you think
yeah.
of the things of like the thing that would get a big tick next to it of like, oh, that's a satisfying one of yeah, something like that. That's what I'm after.
Yeah. Ooh, I got so many. um, one of them is to do something at the Happy Place Festival. So, you know, Fern Cotton does like a Happy Place Festival every year. And she has like loads of people on stage, and like she has it's a beautiful festival. And they have like loads of well-being and holistic therapies and yoga and all sorts of things. And me and my friend went last year, and she was like, "You need to apply to be on this." I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I need to be on that stage." And so that's one of them, is like to be on that stage to share stuff in that kind of environment, because everybody is there literally just to have a lovely day and to immerse themselves in well-being practices. And it's just like, well, this is just beautiful. Like, why would you not want to be a part of this? That's definitely one that's up there. And my other one is a retreat in Portugal. That's been on my list for a lot of years because I know Portugal really well, and I love it. It's just such a beautiful country. And I know some of the areas I know really, really well. I know where everything is. So
Okay.
that would be one that would really love. And that's the one that people keep asking me for, because I keep mentioning it, going, "Oh, one day I'm going to do one in Portugal," and everybody's like, "Oh, do you want to do it?" And I'm like, "Oh, but the
So I
venue's
reckon,
really expensive."
well, I reckon you've got a place in mind. So I'm not going to ask you to give up where the location is because that's too much. But I am going to ask you, in your mind's eye, what time of day it is. Like, is it mountain or beach to give us a flavour, and what kind of time of day of it? Because I'm thinking, is it like beach at sunset or is it something else?
Um, yeah, so there's a roof terrace, and that's where the yoga space is.
Right.
The one that I've got my eye on. So definitely sunrise.
Right. Yeah.
There would be like sunrise yoga,
Yeah.
and sunset. It would be something really restful, like a yoga nidra, or like because the sunsets are so beautiful. It would be like, yeah, it would be really dreamy.
That's cool. I'm already picturing it. So,
Yeah, it's beautiful. I have got a space in mind, and it is gorgeous.
well, I want to see the post when you start advertising it. So if you,
Yeah,
you know, just message me and say,
it will.
look, it's here, it's happening.
Yeah. Book
Um,
now.
yeah, I might have some money at that point as well. So yeah, I think we're done on the changes. Unless there's anything else you want to throw in there.
No, I think yeah.
So the last question is universal basic income. Are you familiar with this? Have you come across it before?
Yes, I
Okay.
used to work many years ago in employment and skills, so it's something that used to come round every now and again. Yeah.
So you will have maybe a bit more information than guests might often have, but I'm not going to put you on the spot or hold you
Yeah,
to
don't.
that necessarily. Oh no,
Some of that
I'm not.
knowledge I've had to like
Yeah,
remove out of my brain to fill with other things.
yeah. So do you think it would make a difference to you and or your work? Um,
For my work, it would depend if sole traders were eligible or not, because dependent on model, they're not always.
I mean, in my again head canon, it's like if it's been UBI, then we're all getting it.
Yeah, so in that respect, it probably would help in some leaner months, because there's peaks and troughs with having your own business. So perhaps in a leaner month, it would be very useful. In general terms, I don't think it would make a huge amount of difference to me personally, but it's around that again, isn't it? Creating the world that you want to see, and it's like, actually, if it would make things better for people and it would help people to have more money and to have a better life, then that seems to me like a nice thing to do. But yeah,
And
I don't.
potentially more freedom. I mean, the other thing
Yeah,
is how, like for your clients,
would they have more time?
would they have more time? But then
Yeah,
if they have more time, would they have more or less need for you? It's yeah,
yeah.
it's that it gets tricky very quickly, doesn't it?
It does, because there's so many ifs and buts.
Yeah.
So would everybody have a bit more money? Well, no, not necessarily everybody would. But if they did, what would they spend that on? And like, could they, you know, would it mean that there are some people at the moment who maybe have 4 or 5 jobs? Maybe they would only have to have 1 or 2. So actually that would make that they have more time. And time to me is the biggest luxury that we have. Like, because money really is just made up numbers on a
Never
screen,
bought
isn't
another
it?
second.
Yeah, but they're just numbers on a screen as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like, we can't all withdraw all that money out the bank. It doesn't exist.
No.
So time to me is the biggest luxury that we have. So what would you then choose to spend that time on? And that, like, and then that opens up loads of questions around, well, would people even be in the country? What would they want to do? Like, how would the world change?
I used to ask people, sort of, if money was no object, what would you do? Not all the time. I wasn't just going around stopping people in the street, but you there. But yeah, the answer that I got most of the time was travel or education. People would go back to school or they'd travel.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the main thing, which to me, both are the kind of the same thing. It's like learn more, have more experiences. Yeah. Know more
and you
stuff.
do learn more and you do learn loads from traveling and meeting new people and going to new places.
Wow.
Yeah.
You learn to hate airports. I did.
They're a means to an end.
Yeah.
You can always go by boat.
Yeah. Takes a while though, but it's about the journey, isn't it? Not the destination, apparently. Not when you're flying though. I hate flying. So yeah, that's all my questions. So this is the point where I throw it over to you. So if there's anything that you would like to talk about or ask questions about or go back, recover, or if you've thought of something that you really needed to say, but I didn't give you the opportunity during the interview, all of that. While you're having a minute to think about that, a moment to think about that, I'm going to ask you for your socials. So where can people find you?
So people can find them all over. So my main one is my website, which is wellbeingwithemma.com. And that keep that up to date so that everything that I'm up to is always on there. My LinkedIn is Emma Longbottom. I've got to remember all these off the top of my head now. My Instagram is wellbeing.with.emma. And my YouTube is Wellbeing with Emma. So I think it's hyphens, wellbeing with Emma.
All the links will be in the show notes as usual.
Absolutely. So. Or, like if you're in Leeds, come to a class because I'm all over Leeds teaching and doing treatments and all sorts. So yeah, it's all on my website, all the places that I am regularly.
Excellent. So is there anything that you've want to say, want to cover? It doesn't have to be.
I think so. I think we've pretty much covered everything.
It's pretty extensive, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So so I shall let you escape while there's still some sunlight.
Yeah.
And sorry, say that again.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get some vitamin D for a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to let you get out there. So I'm going to press stop. So thank you very much for doing this. It's been a pleasure chatting to you today.
Thank you. It's been really lovely. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you again to Emma for being my guest. Thanks as always to all my guests. And thank you to you, Leeds, for being my subject. You can find Emma at wellbeingwithemma.com or on Instagram, instagram.com/wellbeing.with.emma or LinkedIn, linkedin.com/in/Emma Longbottom. Or you can go to the YouTube. Her YouTube page is youtube.com/@wellbeing-with-Emma. If you'd like to contact me about anything working hours related, then you can email me about the show at workinghourspod@western-studios.com. If you can throw any money in at all, it would really, really help. I'm completely on my arse now. And anything you can throw in would be super useful. Okay, that's me. Remember, listener, no matter what you do, it's impossible for you to understand anything that your salary depends on you not understanding. So try to work for peace and try to plan with kindness. Raise your voice, but reduce your impact. Cheers, ears. Take care out there and be kind to each other, Leeds. Working Hours is produced, recorded, edited, created and published by Simon Treen for Western Studios Leeds Limited. The music was The Bees from Chopin's Etudes, which is in the public domain and was taken from museopen.com. Remember, Western Studios Leeds Limited when you're ready to start making your content in West Yorkshire. Follow Western Studios Leeds on Facebook, facebook.com/Western_Studios_Leeds, and on LinkedIn, linkedin.com/company/Western-Studios. Bookmark western-studios.com so you can see the latest prices and use my contact page to drop me a message about your own podcast project or working hours at any time from anywhere. Maybe you want or need a podcast host, co-host or narrator for your podcast project. Maybe you just need another voice for one or more episodes of your show. Podcasts are so much more than gossip, book promotions and marketing for online courses. Podcasts and other audio content get your online brand out there. Want to make some fundraising case studies? Want to have an audiobook or video course? Want to share your learning, knowledge and expertise in your field? Want to learn, teach or raise awareness of something general or particular? Want to improve internal comms with messages your staff might actually engage with? Or do you just want to brighten up the world with some entertaining content? Then make a podcast. If you're making your podcast within West Yorkshire, then think about making it with western-studios.com. Whatever your podcast questions or needs, get in touch with Western Studios Leeds.